we have with us here today Robert Hall, who is the fashion designer, I think in-house fashion designer at the JBDC, and Nadine, or the suspect is Nadine Wellington. She's also a fashion designer um, participant in the JBDC JADIRE workshop. Right. Well, I think she's an alumnus. Good morning, gentle people. How are you?
Morning, Dr. Taylor.
Good morning, Dr. Good morning, Dr. Taylor. It's good to be on the show also.
Okay, one love. Now, Jadire, familiar with it. We talked about it before. I remember it was last year, or year before. Time flies so fast. We were speaking up. It's last year where we were talking. Yeah, where it's batik, where we are putting our ethnic stamp on it, mixing the West African along with the Jamaican, so we get something that is very ethnic, still very African, but still very Jamaican, just exactly like what we are, Jamaican and African at the same time.
Correct.
All right. So continue to fill us in this Jadire thing a little bit more than I'm pretending to know.
Right. So I'd want to give you another word for your vocabulary.
All right.
Not a new word, but more a better word to describe what we're doing. So it's not so much about ethnic, but I'd want to have us and the listeners understand it more as realizing the Jamaicanness of who it is that we are. And we know that as Jamaicans, creativity, it's just part of the core of our being and the DNA of basically who it is that we are as people. And so just like how Miss Lou would say, well, not Miss Lou, but within the frame of our history and our heritage, you have, things where we say, turn your handmade fashion, And so part of just who it is that we are is really using what our own to just realize and to make our lives better and to basically just actualize that Jamaican. So Jadire is basically just offering us a platform. And so within the context of fabric, decor, aesthetics, basically, we are now giving ourselves the platform to reconnect to our history, reconnect to our West African history, by actually working out our design ideas, and we can go into our fashion, our craft, our, interiors, basically in our lives, basically. So that's pretty much what we are talking about when we talk about Jadire.
Okay, got you. All right. So, what does it involve on the ground, though?
Right. So the last time we were here, we spoke about Jadire, which is of course a combination of West African Jadire and Jamaican history, heritage, etc. So you get your Jamaican motif that we were now doing in batik. That is basically, wax on fabric, and that we now dye to get our designs. Now we're actually adding another element to it, which is now the tie-dye portion, where again it's handmade fabrics, and so again within the context of Jadire, it's not just one technique; it is multiple streams of a technique. So last time we did the Jadire batik as in wax, so now we're doing Jadire tie and dye. So this is now where, and a lot of us are familiar with it from high school. But what we want to give people now is the full vocabulary of the tie-dye that we can now do by itself, as well as combine with your batik to actually do your original fabric.
Wow. Yeah, because, so, tie-dye is pretty much, as the name suggests, you have the fabric and you tie it in different ways, right? And so that when you dip it in the dye and you dye it in a artistic way, so that when you take it back out, there are parts of the dye of the fabric that has more that have more or less dye than the other parts, and so it's uneven. So, but you have these interesting patterns. While batik, on the other hand, is where you use wax, right?
Yes.
You wax and you put in the patterns, and that part where the wax is doesn't get dyed, but then you have to find a nice way of removing the wax, and then later on the fabric, and so you get these interesting patterns, huh?
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So I do understand that it is that batik is deeply ingrained in our creative culture, but it's also very, very West African. It's runs right across the places where we came from in Africa.
Absolutely.
Right. So, but as everything else as African that we do down here, we Jamaicanize it. So we take the Aki from Ghana, we turn our liquor thing and turn it into something else. Right. All right. So you rather than having it left to us to just do individually, you have a training program, workshop, etc. Because I see that you have someone here who really who had participated in that. So walk us through these workshops, these training programs, and then I want Nadine to tell us how she benefited from it.
Right. So basically what happens is that we're literally having these workshops to reconnect persons to these techniques which are from our history, and also teaching them how to now move it into the contemporary setting to actually create products that they can evolve, add to their businesses, or evolve businesses around it. So the last time, as I said, we did the JADIRE, and so we have different persons who do interiors, persons who do art, generally persons who are fashion designers, who now are looking at ways to actually make their clothing more Jamaican, more original, to enter spaces like your resort markets, pretty much, that they can actually create clothes that would be original and have to differentiate them when they actually enter the market space, right? So obviously we have Nadine as one of those persons who is a fashion designer herself.
Yes.
And she had her experience. I definitely allow her to speak.
Yes, Nadine. Yes, I should have got to you a little earlier, but walk us through it and tell us how you benefited and what was your experience in a nutshell.
Okay, good morning again, and thank you. I benefited in a very special way because I love fabric. So bringing this into my business, let me get to incorporate more of what I cannot see on the market or personalize in my style, my fashion style. That is one of the things that was very interested in doing the program. And it let me get to meet other persons in the industries also, and also to see what they have to offer in it too. So I'm looking forward to also participating in this next class that is coming up also.
Okay. All right. So you learned a lot. You would encourage other people to join these workshops?
Yes, I would. I would encourage them to join it because it will be personalized. So
okay.
It's not like something that you'll be seeing out there.
Yes.
You'll give it your own personal touch and be very creative at the same time.
What's the one thing that you would say you have learned, you benefited the most from it? If it was only one thing.
I benefited meaning that I'd never thought about this in using it in my industry before, but now I think I definitely is going to incorporate it in it also.
Okay, got you. And you find that the fabrics, which are batik fabric, really had a different dimension in your fashion designs.
Yes, it does. It does. It personalizes it, and it is unique also at the same time.
Yeah, good. Actually, believe it or not, Richard, I actually can empathize, believe it or not. Yeah. No, really, tell you. And when this feature is over, I will speak about it. But it is something that I actually deeply empathize. So tell us more about it, though. How can the average individual get in? Can the average person get there, or you already are booked? And how much it costs?
No, man. We definitely have spaces left. So the workshops will be taking place. This series, it will be on April 4th and 11th. It's a part of our Creative Saturdays initiative. And what persons can do is, if you go to the JBDC website, there is a link there that you can actually click on where you can pay for the workshop. The workshop is only $7,500 for the two Saturdays. So that's basically $3,250 per Saturday. And we are offering you all the materials that you need. You don't need to come with anything but yourself. All the materials that you need, and we're also providing lunch as well. Right? And of course, as Nadine has said, I'm sure if you talk to her more, it was a really good experience. You get to network with other designers, and we're walking you through from zero. You don't need to have any artistic background. You don't need to be that. You just need to just want to do it. And we will take you from zero to the point. I mean, if Nadine tells you again, you know, when you saw the end of the workshop, there's amazing different samples that people were doing, and there are persons who also contacted me after the workshop, and actually they were showing me the different fabrics that they had done for the different products. I mean, it's something, if this is a space that you want to get into, just jump in. This is literally your fast track to actually start doing this. You know, it's not a long process. As I said, after the 2 Saturdays, you'll be empowered to be actually making your own original fabric.
Got you. All right. And we almost, well, we're almost out of time. Very quickly, how can we get more information? How can we get to reach you at the JBDC quickly?
Right. You can just email me rhall at jbdc.net, and just say I am interested in the workshop, and I'll send you all the information. That's rhall at jbdc.net. Send me an email. I'll send you all the information that you need. It's April 4th and 11th, 75 per person. And we have all the materials launching.
All right. So that's more than a bargain. Yeah, more than a bargain. It's very tempting. I want to thank you both for speaking with us here. Very excited about batik and all of those things. So we just had Richard Hall, who's a fashion designer at the JBD. Sorry, what did I say, Robert? What did I say, Richard?
Robert Hall. Yeah, Robert Hall.
Freudian slip, all right? There's a Richard Hall was dear to me. Yes. No, the other one, but fashion designer, and Nadine Wellington, fashion designer, who is a beneficiary of this workshop, the JADIRE workshop. More to come.